Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 8 of season 3 of the F1 2021 Williams Road to Glory. Yes, we're back once more. If you missed out on the last video from the French Grand Prix, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out another exciting race in what has been a very weird but wonderful season so far in the Williams RTG. But today though, we head back to the Styrian Mountains of Austria. Of course, let's not beat around the bush. It's a Max Verstappen stronghold in both real-world Formula 1 and generally so on the game as well. So this one could be a rather tough race to try and crack today. But of course, as always, though, massive thank you to all of you guys for the continued support. We're closing in on 52,000 subscribers already now. You're just mind-blowing, and I cannot thank you guys enough. You know, F1 2022 right around the corner. F1 Manager as well. That's going to be released later on in the year. There's plenty of excitement on the channel, and yeah, if you want to help us get one step closer to 60k, it would be massively appreciated. But having a look then at the championship standings, then Verstappen leads the way 16 points clear over Perez, who's a further 16 ahead of myself. We're nestled quite nicely in P2 in the Constructors' Championship as well there. So just trying to sort of pick up points, pick up places where we can, and also desperately hoping that the team upgrade the facility at some point so I can try and apply more upgrades, because at the moment we're running a maxed out car for all we can. We've got 9,000 R&D points that we just can't do anything with. Let's dive in then here to Austria. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Right, well here we are then back in the Styrian Mountains, and for the first time in quite a while, I think, actually heading back to Austria, and there's no threat of rain this weekend. That never really happens on F1 2021, you know. There's just sort of like 4 or 5 venues that always seem to deliver a bit of carnage, but yeah, fingers crossed that, of course, this track very sort of high-speed orientated for the most part. You know, down the straights, this Williams, a very feisty little package, you know, got a fair bit of punch to it. We'll have to wait and see how we get on through the second half of the lap, though. But having to put a new turbocharger in the car this weekend. Luckily, no grid penalties, but it is something we're going to have to consider later on in the year, as that first sector was really nice there and got really good traction, actually, out over the top of the hill. Braking at about 85 metres there. Probably want to brake at about 90, I think, that time round. Has just snagged the inside wheel through sector 2. Just trying to keep it clean and tidy. It's so easy to pick up underfloor damage as well around this track. Has just nudged the curb there on the inside. Let the car run out wide on the exit. 2 more corners to go then here. Can we try and nail them at the end of our first qualifying attempt? That was a nice run. Oh, a little bit wide there on the exit of the first. And maybe just didn't quite take enough speed through the final corner. Up to the line though. A 102.997 puts us a little way behind Russell. And even Charles Leclerc and Ferrari looking good. Just under 10 minutes left on the clock as we head round the final corner, about to start our second run. Seems that, you know, McLaren, Ferrari and even Mercedes are looking good this weekend. Of course, Austria, there's never much time to separate anyone anyway. It's taking a lot of curve that time round through the first corner, but it's going to have to be the second half of the lap. But we've got to be brave and we've got to try and find the time. Well, purple through sector 2 then as we head down in towards the final couple of turns. Just trying to keep it right on the white line there. Through the final corner, we'll clip the curb, but we got away with it. Up to the line. Going to be another couple of tenths found there. Puts us now P6. So a bit more, sort of closer to where we'd want to be. But there's still definitely a bit more time to find. I reckon with a really good lap, we could be down to a 0.4, probably a 0.5. Just going to let our teammate George Russell by as we get ready then for our final qualifying lap here from Austria. Fingers crossed our teammate's going to be able to give us a bit of slipstream perhaps up the hill. But 5th gear then out of the final corner. Use all the rev range as we head back up to the start-finish line. There might have just been given the Red Bull behind a little bit of tow. And now we just need to be late on the brakes in turn 1 there. Really use the curbing on the exit. And just got that tiny little bit. You heard the revs blip as we head out of turn 1. It did just cost us a fraction of a second as we head up the hill. Braking at the 100, just trying to clip the apex this time round, and then up to 4th gear on the exit. Just means you're not going to get any wheel spin there, and you can see we're still just marginally down as we head out down the hill. Just trying to brake a little bit earlier there. Perhaps that time around we broke just a bit too early. And you can see just that not having the confidence on the brakes has thrown away about a 10th. So we head down the hill again, attack the curbs as best as possible. Try and keep it clean and tidy. Oh, using all the exit curb there, and we're still only a 10th away at the moment, so we really have to try and nail the final couple of turns. Could we still improve? That was a little bit wide there, a little bit cheeky through the penultimate corner, and again out of the final turn. We are going to be cheeky, but it's not going to be enough. And I think we ended up P10 there. One of the worst places to start on a Formula 1 grid. I can't help but feel Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren are all closing in.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Verstappen, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Well, there we go then, qualifying done and dusted for the Austrian Grand Prix, and look at that, Verstappen on pole there, but Sergio Perez getting jumped by both Ferraris, both Mercedes and Lando Norris there when all is said and done. So Ferrari and McLaren now really trying to get themselves into this fight, and we desperately need facility upgrades down at Williams, but we've just got to try and hang on this weekend. I was always worried it wouldn't quite suit the car very well, but we've got to do what we got to do, and we've got to try and pick up as many points as we possibly can. Let's get into it then here from Austria. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. Not long to go before our drivers hurtle off the line and into the first turn, the Niki Lauda curve, as it was renamed in 2019 in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Norris, Carlos Sainz and Leclerc, Perez, Ricciardo, Russell and Mr. Monaco, Gasly, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi and Guan Yu Zhou and Nikita Mazepin, Latifi and Mick Schumacher. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
I'm just going to completely ignore Jeff's recommendations there. Here we are then on the grid, ready for the Austrian GP here from Styria. Rather looking forward to this one today, despite the fact I'm a bit worried it's probably going to be a tough old afternoon for us. But one of those races where, fingers crossed, we can just try and get everything we possibly can from it and walk away happy with some decent points. Damage limitation, I think, is going to be key in this one. But of course, if we end up in a huge DRS strain, anything is possible. We just can't afford to let the front runners break away early on here. But starting P10, then right smack bang middle of the field, waiting on those 5 red lights. And it is going to be lights out, and away we go. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there as Gasly gets a rocket ship launch down in towards turn 1. Just got to be careful with the sim damage as we take a lot of curb out of the first corner. Might just give himself a little bit of floor damage, but look at that, George Russell getting his elbows out early on. He's already gone past Perez. He's going to try and look past Carlos Sainz as we head up the hill, and I'm going to try and have a look up the inside of Perez as well there. As we get up towards the apex, Sergio, I'm not 100% sure whether he spotted me on the inside, but rather worrying. Both Mercedes duking it out there, but both Williams making it through nice and cleanly. And yeah, I don't want to see the Mercedes battling. I want to see them sticking close to Verstappen early on in this Grand Prix. Not too sure which one has ended up in the lead still out of those two. But yeah, Perez, though, losing 3 places, I think, off the start here. So not what he would have wanted here in Styria. Sainz doesn't gain, Sainz doesn't lose. And Russell gains 2 and I plus 1. So not a bad start for Williams in this race. I think we both know it's going to be a difficult old afternoon. But fingers crossed the race pace of this car a little bit stronger than its qualifying trim there. As Verstappen leads the way at the end of lap 1. We try and get a run on Sainz back down towards turn 1. Are we going to have a look around the outside of the Spaniard? Clean around the outside we go. And Sainz pinches himself to the apex, so we'll have that.
You made it look easy.
Team loving that, and I'm loving the fact there was no contact. DRS now enabled as well. We got a nice run on Russell out of turn 1 here. Fingers crossed our teammate isn't going to battle us too hard as we head up the hill. Very, very late on the brakes there, but we get it slowed down. Yeah, I'm just a little bit worried at the moment that Verstappen is trying to push early to try and break away from the Mercs behind. We're just trying to pick up places as well. So I think this car is very, very good in race trim. Yeah, we don't want to be spending, you know, we're not going to win a world title backing out the McLarens and Ferraris at this stage of the game. But again, I think Verstappen, unless he gets a mechanical issue, this one is already rather worryingly. We know how Austrian Grand Prix tend to go. Unless, yeah, either he has mechanical issues or we get a safety car. He could try and walk this one today. But we went purple sector 1, purple sector 2. Let's see how far away we are when we make it out of the final corners. Oh, just running a little bit wide through those final couple of turns. There we go. Okay.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
New fast lap of the Grand Prix there. Let's see if we can try and get a run on Ricciardo then as we head out of turn 1. AI very, very reluctant to get on the throttle, and we're going to try and capitalise here as we try and do the same move we did to our teammate just 1 lap ago.
Okay, if we continue to use fuel at this rate, then we won't have enough to reach the end of the race. You need to start lifting off the throttle earlier on the corners. Let the car slow down naturally before you start braking.
Not worried about that at the moment, Jeff, as we're going to try and make 2 moves in 2 corners there around the outside of Charles Leclerc. Can we put the power down? Can we keep the nose there? I think we are just about as we head in towards turn 5. Just trying to hang him out to dry. And Charles Leclerc has to back out. But rather annoyingly, yeah, both Mercedes battling for position. Verstappen is definitely out of the DRS range. So there we go, even faster.
Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Another new fast lap for the Grand Prix. We have got good pace in the car early on, but I'm taking no prisoners. It's again going side by side at the top of the hill. Can we try and make a move work on Lando Norris just behind him? Oh, Norris! It's going to give me a big old squeeze, but somehow, yeah, not able to put the power down at the top of the hill. This Williams has got fantastic traction as well there, as these two still going side by side off the corner. I mean, yeah, we've gone from 10th to 4th in 5 laps here, just by picking off cars 1 by 1. Couldn't quite do anything on Bottas that time, however. Right, are we going to see Bottas versus Hamilton again then as we head up the hill? And are we going to be able to try and capitalise this time round? Bottas is going to have a look to the inside of his Mercedes teammate. Oh, Hamilton locks up. I'm going to try and go slow in, fast out on the exit. Don't get collected by Lando Norris as we get a lot of wheel spin at the top of the hill there. And Bottas makes the move, but we're going to try and get both Mercs in one go there. Bottas forces me down towards the inside grass.
MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh, what a move that was this early on in the race. And even better, I think I've just left both Mercs battling it out as well behind us. And look at that. Team now recommending a one-stop strategy. To be honest, I kind of forgot I hadn't set it up that way. I'm gotta be honest, I think those first 6 laps here at Austria are probably 6 of the best laps I've done on F1 in 2021. They're 8 places gained over that window there, and we went from starting P10, which I was pretty disappointed about, to pretty much being back to where we would hope to be in this Grand Prix. Verstappen, though, 3 seconds up the road, but this Williams is feeling feisty early on in the race. It's just about trying to keep the tyres in good nick, and now, of course, trying to keep Bottas and Hamilton at bay. We've got yellow flags out towards the rear of the field. I think that's a Haas car going slowly. It might be the Alfa Romeo, actually. I think looking at it a bit more closely, and it is Mazepin out.
They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Oh no! Anyway.
The track is clear. Green flag.
I have all noticed as well, though. We're actually taking time out of Verstappen. Gap was at about 3. Now it's down to 2.5 there, but we've got to be careful over those curbs, because floor damage can very easily be picked up and accumulated here. Lap 9 of 36. This car is feeling racy. Starting lap 13 then, gap down to 1.4, and to be honest, the last few laps, we've just been really trying to push to see if we can close down this gap. Yeah, just trying to... I want to see if we can get within the 1 second before we pit here. But Verstappen is still looking rather racy. I have also made sure we're not going to change the front wing at the pit stop. I feel like we might have glanced it when we went past Perez, but it's certainly not costing us anything, because look at that. Gap down 3/10 just at the top of the hill alone. And even better, we are dragging Hamilton and Bottas back up towards Verstappen as well. So maybe, perhaps Verstappen took a lot out of his tyres early on to build up this gap. And now it's just coming back to haunt him, as we should be within range. Look at this now as we head up the hill, gaining on Max Verstappen there. Almost accidentally went for a move at the top of the hill. I just want to sort of see where he's braking at the moment, just to see if we can try and get within the zone. And now, suddenly, Hamilton and Bottas both dropping away from me as we try to look around the outside of Max. So we head down the other side of the hill. Nothing going to happen that time. But this race is well and truly on. I never expected it to be today. To be honest, I was, very much expecting a Verstappen show here from Austria. And if qualifying was anything to go by, it looked like that was how it was heading. But we are really, getting our elbows out and upsetting, a bit throwing caution to the wind here. As when is Verstappen going to box? Starting lap 15, I wanted to be within the DRS range of Verstappen at this point, but I never thought we might be able to try and line up a move before the pit window here, as we're going to get a huge run out of turn 1 there to the left-hand side of the Dutchman. He's going to squeeze me as we head up the hill there, but we do get cleanly through and up now into the lead then of the Austrian Grand Prix.
Norris, they have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Oh, Norris with issues though, and I think, no, he's not quite pulling over at this stage of the day, but Lando Norris, he was running really well up in P4. He might just drop backwards in towards that gaggle of cars behind. Because, Hamilton and Bottas, I think, again, trying to battle it out, as now these tyres, we've made the move and they're starting to bleed. Oh, and there we go. Verstappen clearly had enough on his rubber. He's going to box in at the end of lap 15.
Push now.
We're going to box in at lap 16, so everyone is trying the same strategy still by the looks of it, as Verstappen into the pits, and everyone going on to mediums.
George in the pits.
We just need a good in-lap and hope that Verstappen, he's not going to come out in traffic, but a boy can dream. So I almost forgot to pit at the end of lap 16, but trying to get it slowed down nice and tidy into the box. Make sure we don't cross over the pit lane line. It won't actually give you a penalty on F1 2021, but I know there's some of you in the comments that would rather I didn't anyway. As Bottas behind us, he's going to peel in. Perez and Sainz as well. They've had a pretty quiet start to the Grand Prix each, but look at the gap. Verstappen, he's taken a lot of time out of us over the pit in lap, so he's definitely used the advantage of the fresher tyres. And I think now he's going to get back past me as we head out of the pit lane entry. This is going to be very close down on the exit of turn 1. And Verstappen, he has pulled off the move. George Russell's out of the Grand Prix though, and we've got a safety car, so that won't really affect too much in the grand scheme of things. What's happened to George? Oh, it's not looking good. I mean, that is an action shot and a half there, and I'm guessing George Russell has met the back end of an Aston Martin down at the final couple of corners. It always happens here at Austria, and George Russell out of the race. Right, we're getting ready then to go green once more here from Austria, and I'm trying to Max Verstappen on Max Verstappen as he's going to try and gun it. Is he? No, not in towards the final corner. And I might have tried to Max Verstappen it there, and we haven't actually done a very good job.
Green flag.
As we head out of the final turn, though. Green flag racing once more here from Austria, as we've got just under half a race left to go. 17 laps. And the gap between Verstappen and myself could get feisty towards the end here, but we need to make sure over these first couple of laps, Verstappen, the AI, always going to heat up their tyres a whole lot quicker. We got to stick within that 1 second zone. That is going to be key today. Whether the win is on the table or whether Verstappen, he got a little bit close for comfort early on, and that he can hang on We can just see end of the first lap for Verstappen, pretty much hovering exactly at that 1 second mark. And the Dutchman is pushing to still try to win this race. Like I said, he's had such a good run of form in real life and on the game. But if we could upset Red Bull in their backyard, that could have a massive momentum swing in the title. And now end of 21.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
We actually took a couple of tenths out of Verstappen that time round, and we are going to have the DRS then. So that is critical in this GP.
About 3/10 a lap.
As Hamilton now is actually going to drop out the DRS behind us, so unless Verstappen and I really start duking it out, we might now just be in a one-on-one dogfight towards the end of this Grand Prix. For the 4th race in a row, of course, France, it didn't quite get as dramatic as the prior couple of races, but yeah, we could be on for yet another dogfight here between Verstappen and myself. It is like 2021 all over again, but yeah, I mean, we've still got 15 laps to go though. We've got to try and make a move, but we've got to try and play it sensibly. Austria is a weird old circuit because of just how many DRS zones there are back to back to back. I mean, the talking point so far this year has just been how much more top speed we've got over Max Verstappen, as you can see as we head up the hill. Being able to fly past him, and the Dutchman, he's just going to slot back into P2 for now as well. We just get a little bit over the curbs at the top of the hill. Bottas and Hamilton going side by side a little bit further back. But yeah, that definitely doesn't mean it's over here in Styria. Just because we've made the place and moved back up into the lead, Verstappen is still a very, very quick driver in a very, very quick car. Oh, here comes Verstappen. Back up the inside he goes as we head towards the top of the hill. Going to try and do the old up and under on him off the exit. And are we going to be able to put the power down? Yes, we are. He's still going to have the DRS, though. So this is going to be another duel back down the other side of the hill. And that time round, we're just going to have to slot back in for now. So chopping and changing the places at 2/3 distance. But Verstappen and I both have clearly got enough top-end speed to make the move. We just need the DRS, and that could be critical come the end of the race there. But could we see fireworks? Often so far this year, we've had a lot of battles with the Dutchman, but we haven't really ever sort of seen it come to a head. Could today be that day? Trying to lean on the curb on the exit of turn 1 here. And again, we're going to have a look to the outside of the Dutchman. Verstappen having to go very, very defensive as we head up the hill. As I just get way too much over the curbs. That's going to mean we have to head over the Aramco sponsorships on the exit. Not going to try and claim the lead because of that. Just couldn't quite get the car slowed down at the top of the hill, and unfortunately we've given the Dutchman the DRS down the other side. But yeah, like I said, was never going to try and keep the place from running wide like that. But then lap 26, 11 to go, as you can just see how much we gain back down towards turn 1 there. I'm trying to go a little bit wider on the way in and really get on the power that little bit earlier on the exits. Again, Verstappen is going to go defensive, but this time around we're going to try and get clean ahead of him. Just sort of muscle our way, force him a bit more offline there, try and give him a little bit of dirt on his tyres. And back up now into the lead of the race we go once more. Verstappen, though, again is going to have the DRS, but if we just use a bit more battery, we should be able to keep him at bay for now. Flags out. Again, this time around it is a Haas car that appears to be going slowly. Not too sure who that is as we head out towards turn 1. It's
Some information
Latifi.
on Latifi. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
That means this time around we don't have to worry about Verstappen because the yellow flag's
Okay,
out.
clear.
Oh, no, they're not. Oh, oop. Oh, that's not good. I thought we wouldn't have to worry about Verstappen because of the yellow flags. Completely didn't look on the mini-map and realised that the yellow flags are only halfway along the straight, not the entirety. That doesn't mean we're not going to come back at the Dutchman as we head down the hill. Is he going to be able to keep the nose there? No, he's not. So we do still hold on to the lead, but this is probably going to get decided on the very last lap. Starting lap 30 then here from Austria. Verstappen has just kind of sat back over these last couple of laps, and I don't know whether I feel happy about that or even more worried. It's a bit like, say you get attacked by a shark, and then suddenly the waters go a bit calm. Does that mean you're safe? Or does that mean they're just plotting to come back and strike 10 times harder? I really don't know at this stage of the race, but we've got both Red Bulls and both Mercs now all line astern here, so this could be a 5-car scrap to the end of the GP. But yeah, I mean, if Verstappen and I go side by side, Bottas could just be licking his lips at the opportunity of a race victory here, because I think, yeah, it still has only been myself and the Red Bulls that have taken race victories this year. It's the first time Mercedes have looked properly race strong all season long. 5 laps to go then here from Austria, and the tyres are just starting to give up a little bit at the moment, and Verstappen, I think, can sense that because he's trying to get even bigger runs down the straightaways here. Bottas and Hamilton, I mean, pretty much all 5 of us are covered by about a second at the moment as we try and head out of turn 1. Is Verstappen going to be able to get another run on me? No, he is not just yet there. You can see he does start to gain, but it is far too late down the straightaway here as we get up towards turn 2. The Mercedes power unit still working wonders at this stage of the Grand Prix, but yeah, 5 laps to go, 5 cars still in the battle for the win here. This is going to have massive ramifications for the championship. Oh, Verstappen? How has he managed to get a run down there? Verstappen steams it up the inside through the final couple of corners. Bottas, I think, has just crashed into the back of me there and has ended up in the pit lane entry.
Watch your pace. We've been informed that the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
I mean, a car blocking the pit lane entry is probably not good to have late on here in the Austrian GP, but Bottas, like I said, Verstappen went for a kamikaze move up the inside, down in towards the penultimate corner there. We gave him the space. I don't think we never went off the circuit. Bottas, I think, just kind of took his normal racing line there, pinged off my rear wheel, and just, yes, got spat straight into the pit lane entry. And 3.5 laps to go here from Austria. We've got a late race safety car. What sort of drama could this cause? Well, 2 laps to go then here in Austria. It's been a very, very short-lived safety car, but we are about to go green flag racing once more, and I'll be honest, 2 laps is a bit of a blessing for me. Because if it was 1 lap, I would not fancy my chances against the Dutchman, but he's going to try and bolt it then out of the final corner, and we're just trying to stick close on this first lap. If we can hang close to the Dutchman, we might be able to get enough tyre temperature in to go for a move on the final lap of the Grand Prix there. We can just see how cold the tyres are immediately. We've only been under safety car for 1 lap, and immediately these tyres just do not maintain any sort of heat. The only other thing is, of course, we can have no DRS on the Dutchman there, as late on the brakes, taking all the risks early on this penultimate lap here from Austria. Who is going to come out on top today? Will it be Max Verstappen? Will it be myself? We're going to have to be really, really strategic with this. We're going to have to just take all the risks, as you can see there, again, using all the curbing.
4 laps of fuel remaining.
We've got plenty of fuel in the car. That's not what I'm going to worry about here today with 2 safety cars. I'd hope so as well. As we head down the hill in towards the final lap here, we need to try and stick close to Max Verstappen, use all the battery, everything we possibly got in the car. But I am a bit worried. Without the DRS, we might not have the overspeed that we need here. You can just see how much the tyres are struggling there. Verstappen really gets a nice tidy run, actually, through the final couple of corners there. We've run out of battery, and now we've got to go back on it again. And you can just see the gap Verstappen is able to build by the time we get back down towards turn 1. They're using all the curb on the exit the first corner, but I think Verstappen, that move in towards the penultimate corner there, might have just won him the Dutch Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix even, I should say. But we're not going to give up just yet. Can we get a run at the top of the hill? You can see the back end trying to wriggle free from underneath me here, but I don't think we've got enough. We can't go for a send from this far back. Down the hill we go, and Max Verstappen, he might just win it once more in Red Bull's backyard here. We've given him absolutely everything we possibly could today, and unfortunately, just Bottas not looking where he was going, crashing into the back of me, might just cost us the win here in Austria as we head down in towards the final couple of corners. I don't think we can do anything this late on in the afternoon. Going to use all the battery we possibly can through the penultimate corner, though. It's not going to be enough. Max Verstappen wins once more here in Austria, and that is a hammer blow for our title.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win. Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance, making gains at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull pull further ahead in the standings. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, guys. The end of the Austrian Grand Prix. That I keep calling it the Dutch Grand Prix because it's effectively still Verstappen's home race here. But yeah, Max Verstappen, pole position, fastest lap, race victory. Makes it look like a pretty simple day in the office for the Dutchman. Not the case, though. Today, we really gave him a good run for his money there. And to be honest, I was amazed. 10th to 2nd inside 6 laps early on there. That was, yeah, probably one of my best runs ever early on in a Grand Prix. But yeah, unfortunately, that move late on from the Dutchman, it turned out to be a much bigger power play than I ever thought it would be late on in the day there. And Max Verstappen able to walk away with the win by just 0.4 of a second. One more lap. With the DRS, we definitely would have had him there, but that's the way racing goes sometimes. We come through P2, ahead of Hamilton and Sergio Perez there. Lando, Leclerc, Gasly, Sainz, Ocon and Stroll round out the top 10 when all is said and done. And then further down the order, you can see Bottas, Latifi, George Russell and Mazepin all not making it through to the checkered flag there. Championship-wise, though, it means the gap at the top opens up to 30 points now. We're 40 away from Verstappen as well. That is really not that good at this stage of the campaign there. We're halfway through the season, though. Fingers crossed, like I said, if the team can sort out some developments for us, we would be golden in the second half of the campaign, but that requires a lot of money as well there. Leclerc jumps Sainz, Norris jumps Ricciardo in the battle down at Ferrari and McLaren there. And further down the order, I don't think there's any other changes. No, Ocon and Stroll getting their first points of the year, so it just means Latifi is the only man left to score in this campaign there. Constructors-wise, though, nothing's really changed. We've just further extended the gap over Mercedes behind. Haas now just 1 point clear of Aston Martin and 3 points clear of Alpine there. And I mean, yeah, that battle in the bottom 4 could get very close by the end of the year. But thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed as well. And we'll be back very soon with more F1 2021 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.